What is going on, Copa family? It has been a while since we've done a proper power rankings, and we've heard your calls for its return. And you know what? We appreciate the love. The European season's kicked off just a little over a month ago, and we're starting to see clubs establish themselves as serious contenders and some surprise flops. For this episode, we are going to give you our 10 teams who are in the best form right now in the respective leagues and tournaments. So maybe don't expect to see Real Madrid on this list after that last-minute goal they conceded to Real Betis. It's moments like that that make this game so wonderful. Now, let's get to it. At number 10, I'm doing something which might literally start a riot, and I'm putting Boca Juniors and River Plate together. The Argentine league is off to a flying start with usual suspects Boca and River sitting perfect after 3 games. Dario Benedetto and Pablo Perez have 3 goals apiece for Boca, making up 6 of their 8 goals scored, while River have chosen to spread their 17 goals across 6 different players. So guys, which would you rather have? The team consistently scoring goals across the entire lineup, or a few guys carrying most of the load for an entire season? Still a ton of games to be played in Argentina, but the way both teams are playing is teeing up for a fun season to watch, so make sure you're paying attention. Number 9 is Sporting Clube de Portugal. At this point in the European campaign, sometimes it's hard to really separate teams within a particular league, and that's definitely the case in Portugal. I'm only putting Sporting here because I love to see them going punch for punch with current champions Porto, and so far, they are doing it. And the fact that Sporting picked up a nice 3-2 away win in the Champions League over Olympiacos, while Porto fell to Besiktas. They are both, however, perfect after 6 games. With an attack trio of Bastos, Bruno Fernandes, and Gelson Martins, it's no shock that they have 12 goals between them and have most of the league fearing the thought of having to defend them. Keep your eyes on Martins and Fernandes, who are 22 and 23 years old respectively, as they could be sold to bigger clubs next summer or even mid-season. Number 8, it's Borussia Dortmund, who honestly should have probably been higher on this list. But since the media has decided to compare Pulisic to Messi and Ronaldo, I just had to temper expectations a bit. But they are pretty damn clean to start the new campaign. Undefeated after 5 games is somewhat impressive in itself, but what is more impressive is that they haven't given up a goal yet, which is kind of weird considering that their manager came from Ajax in the total football system, rarely ever sees clean sheets these days. Aubameyang is scoring at will already and has 5 goals in 5 appearances, and Pulisic, Yarmolenko, and Philippe are doing a good job of erasing all traces of Ousmane Dembele. Bayern are likely too strong this season and are surely favorites to win the league, but based on current form, I'm going with Dortmund. At number 7, it's Monaco. Confession, guys. After seeing Monaco sell off so many quality players for a small fortune, I assumed Monaco's run last year would be a one and done, but so far, I've been quite wrong. I'm not saying they'll keep pace with PSG, but outside their 4-0 thumping at the hands of Nice, which included 3 goals between Balotelli and Playa, Monaco have been fantastic. I mean, how damn good is Falcao? Don't you kinda sorta wish we would have gotten this version of Falcao while he was in the Premier League? He could have done some serious damage. So often we attribute success for guys like him to, oh, it's because he has so many good players around him, which he did last year and he still has this year, but he's proven that he can score regardless of who he's playing with. I mean, 9 goals in 6 games to kick off this campaign is no joke. Perhaps he's the next guy to get sold for an astronomical sum. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's see how this season plays out. Number 6, we're going with Manchester City. Remember last year when we all jumped on the whole Aguero's past his prime and needs a move, and then when Gabriel Jesus got injured, he shut us all up by scoring 6 goals? Well, the same has continued this year, except somehow Pep has found a way to get them both on the field at the same time, and it's paying dividends. And guess what, City fans? I have United ranked higher than you guys this week, and if that makes you mad because the teams have the exact same stats, I'm sorry, it's not personal. City have been good for a while, United haven't, so it's nice to see them firing on all cylinders at the highest level and consistently. And if that bothers you, it's warranted. They have the exact same goals, 4 goals against, and points in the league, and both won their Champions League openers, and they even have co-top scorers in the league. But this hit is about City, and while I know United is ranked higher on this list, there's a lot of teams in the world playing really well right now that won't make this list, so hopefully you find some solace in that. At 5, it's Inter Milano. This is not taking shots at Juventus, who are sick AF, or Napoli, who play arguably the sexiest football in Europe right now. This is more of a shock pick, as I never expected Inter to start the season undefeated after 5 games. If anyone from Milan was gonna do it, I thought it would have been Inter's neighbor who dropped crazy money as they go on a quest for Champions League position. I'm also docking points to Juve and Napoli as they both lost their Champions League openers, and Inter didn't because, well, they aren't playing in the competition. Also, while Paulo Dybala is getting most of the headlines globally, I wanted to make sure we show a little bit of love to Mauro Icardi and Ivan Perisic, who have 9 goals combined between them in the league. Is this sustainable? Probably not. Will Juventus and Napoli likely be on this list all season long? Probably. So why not show a little bit of love to Inter, who are in top form at the moment? For 4, I'm going with Liga MX Monterrey. Now, before you all say, Heath, you're an idiot, they aren't as good as City or Monaco, blah, 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 I remind you that this is not a list of the best teams in the world. This is a list about current form within a team's league or ecosystems, and Monterrey are killing it in theirs. Undefeated with 7 wins and 2 draws, largely due to the performances of Mori and Hurtado, who are both in the Golden Boot race with 5 goals apiece. With all the matches being postponed in Liga MX this weekend due to the tragic earthquake, Monterrey are now sitting comfortably 6 points clear at the top of the table with 8 games to go in the Apertura. Thoughts are with you all down in Mexico. At number 3, and likely to everyone's surprise, it's Barcelona. If you asked anyone who's neck deep in social media just a few months ago if Barcelona would be competitive, you'd likely have gotten a resounding no as a response. Even I was caught up in the hype of thinking they'd suck, which is so naive, like embarrassingly naive. However, Barcelona being written off has actually been some sort of blessing in disguise for the club, as I likely think it took a little bit of pressure off them and allowed them to just go out and play, which they rarely get to. I still worry about their backline and their speed and defensive transition, but they've somehow managed to only give up 2 goals in 7 matches across all competitions, and Messi's already on 9 league goals, and he finally broke his curse of not scoring against Gigi Buffon when he had a brace in their 3-0 whooping of the European runners-up Juventus. I mean, look, Real Madrid are still a better team, but Barcelona's performances are 100% worth mentioning right now. For number 2, it's PSG. Spoiled brat fights over who takes penalties aside, this team is actually fun to watch. Normally you'd expect players who are signed late in the transfer window to take a bit of time to adjust, but that's not been the case for Neymar or Mbappe. Having said that, I realized that if I was paying $200 million for players, I probably wouldn't be giving them an adjustment period. Regardless, PSG are top of the league and have smashed 21 goals over 6 games, which just isn't even all that fair. And Cavani, if you are watching this, I didn't say Neymar's name first for any particular reason. I think you're both equally great, so don't get mad at me for that. And Neymar, don't take this the wrong way either. At number 1, it's Manchester United. Of course, I've already made the point that you could swap them with City at this point. It wouldn't make much difference. I mean, they do have the exact same stats after all, but I'm putting them at number 1 because it's a personal pick. I've never liked Manchester United as a fan, but I've always enjoyed watching a good Manchester United squad. And right now, this team is very good. They're top of the table in the Premier League. Lukaku is top of the league in goals on 5. Mkhitaryan is also top of the league in assists on 5. And after 5 games, they've only conceded 2 goals, which is pretty spectacular. Of course, this is new Man United, and their manager is the ever brilliant yet ever volatile Mourinho, so the wheels could fall off at some point, but for now, they are number 1. Oh, and what a win in the Carabao League Cup. 4-1 over Burton, in case you guys think that we aren't watching everything. So guys, that is it for this episode of our Copa90 Power Rankings. What other teams do you think should have made our top 10 list? Real Madrid, Bayern, Juventus, Galatasaray, and even Sevilla supporters could certainly make a case for their clubs to be included. Here's to hoping we can shake things up even more for the next time. I'm looking at you, Real Betis. Now let's keep this conversation going on Walk Talk Football. Use the hashtag WTF to let us know who we missed and ask your questions about anything and everything in the football world. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.